Welcome to Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D podcast. While everyone else is looking for glory, treasure and power, our adventurers are on the greatest quest of all, to find true love. So join Thane, Fia, Nathaniel and Hephaesta as they put their hearts on the line. Last time in Romancing the Dungeon.
So we all ended up in the Sleeping Bee and we found Eugenia's brother, Norris Flatstone, kind of passed out in his stew, which wasn't great. But we figured from him that he was extremely jealous of his sister and he wanted to end poor Nate and Eugenia's love story, which was really, really sad and really mean and really cruel. And Nate, like the big romantic he is, went running out the door straight after to try and fight Eugenia, only for me to be knocked unconscious, which wasn't great. But the boys came back, which is good. We found out she was being kept in a convent called the Convent of Devotion and Purity. So we all set out in a wagon with Norris tied up to get there and try and find her. I was really surprised when we arrived there. Everyone was so friendly and so nice. Thane didn't seem impressed by them at all. He then told me they were sketchy and we should watch out. Nate had a change of heart. He started really falling for Ardit, one of the leaders of the church, which I thought was very sketchy considering how much he professed his love for Eugenia in the first place. So we left him and Hephaesta with Ardit and Lilu, and Thane and I went searching around trying to find Ariel, Giles' wife, and also see if we could find Eugenia too. We found Ariel. And then my tongue found the back of Thane's throat. So yeah.
You're doing so well.
You were right up to that point.
My mouth and I vomited back in his mouth.
Oh, no.
A real coming together of a mind.
Of tongues.
We don't talk about that.
And
Yeah.
spit.
It's just so weird having to do the intro again after so long.
That's so weird,
it's
'cause you got
really
it, like so right.
Thank you. Thank you. I worked hard on that.
Do you listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
You bitch.
Are you actually listening to this shit? Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first steps to solving your problems. At least your dating ones. Welcome to D8. Devoted, desired, dreamy or dirty. Dapper dates for dejected daters. My name is Roz Greypurse, founder, CEO, and love wizard, and author of the YA romance novel series, The Horny Games. A sexy young tabaxi takes on a drab dystopian society which seeks to dampen her flames of passion. Part 2, Scratching Desire, coming soon. To get started, please fill out the attached questionnaire. Question 7. How would you describe your kissing technique?
I would describe my kissing technique. It starts out loving and tender and delicate, and then becomes fiery and filled with passion.
Can I write in on my form that I hate Fia's answer? Like, don't match me with that person.
Fia's answer sounds like a commercial for tortilla chips, and tampons got confused.
I was trying to go for the romance novel lines that are usually written.
Okay.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Thane's Tidbits, and all you need to know about Thane's kissing technique is the exact same as his technique in committing to a bit that he decided to do 7 months ago, and is still going strong today. It's commitment, and it's good, and that's it.
I think kisses should be hot. I think they should start warm and heat up. And I don't want anyone to get burned, but I just, I like to heat things up a little bit.
My general tactic is to go about 90% of the way. I'll let them come the last 10%. Then I like to...
Sorry.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. Okay. Then what I do is I'll hold my mouth open against theirs, sort of fish style, and then wait for them to put their tongue in, because I'm a big believer in getting things started but letting the other person do all of the work.
Could you imagine somebody coming to kiss you like that? They're just like,
There's so much to unpack there, and we don't have the time, which is funny because it's a podcast.
I just kind of see it, and this is for our Catholic listeners. You know, when you're getting the communion wafer, and you're like, I also just forgot that this is not a visual medium, so I just sat there with my eyes closed and my tongue out.
Beautiful.
We begin with Fia, Thane, and Ariel wrapped in a three-way lover's tryst of tongues and spit.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
No, it's not.
Yeah, do you want to give me Constitution saving throws?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. An unnatural 20.
Okay.
Oh, that's an 8.
So Fia, it's sort of the you feel kind of someone bite your tongue a little bit, and the pain kind of snaps you out of it, and you suddenly kind of find yourself one arm sort of like cupping Thane's left butt cheek, the other arm like disappeared up Ariel's back. You're just your mouth is sore, and it's that sort of, you know, when you ever kissed a guy with a beard and you get that kind of beard, you've kind of got a bit of beard rash
all the time,
or stubble rash more than anything else. As you kind of pull back, you take in what's happening, and it is not a dream. You've been making out with Thane, your newfound traveling companion, and Ariel, Giles' wife, who you were sent here to rescue. The two of them are still very much at it.
Okay, I in shock. I kind of push away as far as I possibly can from the two of them, backing up as far as I can in this little room away from them.
Okay, amidst the sound of you kind of take in the space around you, and you're in a somewhat kind of large square storeroom. There are wall-to-wall shelves, kind of like aisles, almost like kind of like a supermarket kind of thing. There's aisles of shelves the whole way down this room, and at the very back of it, you just see some locked cupboards and a desk.
And on the other side of the room, you see...
Yes, you see what it can only be described as a Renaissance painting.
Lovely. I'm going to kind of try and look around the room, see if there's anything I can use to help this situation with the other two, because...
Define help.
Yeah, so I want to kind of like look around at the cupboards and the desk and see if there's anything there that can...
Okay, give me an investigation check.
That's a 6.
Okay, so it's just the shelves are stacked with like your generic supplies. You know, there's bottles, some of which you'd knocked over. There's boxes of various different things. You don't quite see anything that like you don't see a bucket of ice cold water to throw over them effectively.
Yeah.
There is a bucket and a mop sticking into it, but that's about the only thing in here that you like without actually like completely understanding what's on the shelves. You're not sure what you could throw at them that would
help.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to just try and go back and try and like pry them apart and be like, guys, stop this. What's going on? Stop.
Neither of them are responsive to you. Like they're just hands through hair. Like everyone's still fully clothed. I don't think we made that clear.
No, we really didn't.
Episode.
I had something very different.
You're just kissing, for the love of God.
Yeah.
For now.
I take
now.
things slow.
Can I smack Thane on the back of the head?
Yeah, sure, I like that.
Just like go like open palm on the back of the head. Just be like, snap out of it.
Give me a D4 for an unarmed strike.
2.
Okay, but you do get a kind of a slap straight on the back of your head. How would Thane react to that in the throes of this?
I mean, normal Thane who's not, like under a strange love potion. Who knows? It's anyone's guess, but seeing as I'm just...
Surprise punch.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to deal with it, it's the job. Can I do another constitution roll? Would that help me?
Give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage this time.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's a 19.
Yeah. Very much. It's that sort of smack that your friend gives you. When you're talking a little bit too much drunk talk.
Yeah.
It sort of knocks some sense into you. And as you kind of pull back, you do see that like Ariel's face is red with that sort of stubble rash, and your face is a little bit wet. She's not a good kisser. And yeah, as you kind of pull her back, you have a vague recollection of something breaking, a really, really sickly, sweet, intoxicating smell, like a vapor, and then just making out hard with this woman. And as you kind of take in the room around you, you see Ariel is still kind of struggling, and she still seems a little bit like she's under the influence of this. But you look over at Fia, who is completely red in the face, like her cheeks are blushing, and her mouth is also rashy from stubble.
Hi, why'd you hit me?
We were caught under a love potion. We need to kind of
hit
knock
her
her.
then.
Okay.
I'm not going to hit a woman.
Can I just smack her?
Okay, yeah.
All right, you can I roll for mop?
Yes, you can go get the mop.
Fuck yes.
I got a 3 on a D4.
Okay. So you find the mop, and as you come back with it, like sort of mop head upwards,
Yeah.
it is dripping, and the water is cold and pungent. You kind of approach and go and give her this, and you just see that Fia has kind of given her that sort of awakening slap as well, and she kind of comes to her senses, and she's just kind of like, "What's going on?"
You started kissing this mop, and that's why your face is all wet, and we thought there was something wrong with you. But now you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Thane, stop lying. We knocked over a potion or something in here.
I'm pretty sure it was you.
We knocked over a potion or something in here, and we all started making out with each other uncontrollably, so I just kind of smacked everyone out of it.
I'm sorry, but who are you, and where are we?
We're in a convent. We came here to find you. Your husband Giles is worried about you.
You see kind of a look of kind of fear and even anxiety kind of wash over her a little bit. I don't remember, and she winces kind of with a little bit of like as she kind of tries to reflect on what was happening.
Come on, Ariel, don't you remember the sleeping bee, his lovely buff that he would make for you every day in the sleeping bee where you live with your husband, Giles, whom you presumably love because he wants to get you back? And I kind of shake her a little, but not too much.
Yeah. Remember, that's how it works. The harder you shake amnesiac people, the more they remember. You just gotta shake those memories loose.
I mean, like, it worked with babies, so...
You just treat him like a magic 8 ball, just like, do you remember?
Nate's
Not
babysitting
yet.
services now available.
Ask again later.
Yeah, it's that sort of comforting rock, we'll say, that you kind of just sort of
That's what I was
you kind of
going
grip
for.
her arms and shoulders a little bit, and you kind of see tears fill her eyes and kind of just sting the edges, and she's just, I came here to deliver some food and supplies. I remember they did something to me. There's something here. And we cut back to Hephaesta and a very unconscious Nate in the private chambers of Lilu and Ardat. Hephaesta, you are standing there with the Succubus and Incubus in their revealed forms, and Nate lying passed out on one of the couches in their office.
Yes, I am. Right, so this looks bad, and before I say anything, I am immediately going to cast a Fey Presence. Each creature within a 10-foot cube has to make a Wisdom saving throw against my save DC.
Okay, what's your spell save DC?
It is...
Look at us getting all technical on this podcast. It's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. It's what?
12.
Okay.
Shut up.
Let me
Trying, okay? I'm just a little warlock.
It's still good. It's still good. Can you describe the spell?
So if they fail, they are charmed or frightened by me until the end of my next turn. It's my choice which they feel.
So Ardat has failed,
Okay?
and Lilu has passed. So are you
Scared of me.
So Ardat had been holding Nate and then put him down on the couch in the last episode. Lilu had tried to ensnare you. There's this sort of dueling force of magic between the both of you. It completely drowns Ardat, and he, on looking at you, he just winces, and he's now kind of ducking behind Nate. And sort of like, oh no, and he's kind of holding him as well, and that kind of like, oh, he'll save me. He's unconscious. Why do we keep doing visual gags? It doesn't work on a podcast.
Guys, you should really see this funny stuff Declan is doing. Never.
As she pushes her charm on you, you push back, and both just wash away.
Watch your hands there, Declan.
Shut up, son! On seeing you kind of brush off her charm, and you instantly recognize that your magic has not affected her either. It's not that she retreats or anything, but she kind of stops, and you see her in this form. Her skin is sort of burnt red from hoof to horn, and her tail is kind of spindling around her. And she just leans onto the other couch opposite you, and you just see these two black-taloned hands just sort of grip the board of the couch, and she leans in. Well. Looks like this little warlock has some magic of her own. Who sent you?
It's not important. We came to find Nate's wife. No one sent us. We came on our own.
She's not here. So you could have...
So we can go then.
Well, you've seen a little too much, I'm afraid.
I didn't make you show me any of this. It's not in our file.
And she kind of looks down at Ardat. I don't believe you when you say you came here looking for Nate's wife. What woman would marry that oaf?
I asked myself the same question, but love acts in mysterious ways, and I cannot control the bad decisions other women make.
Oh, have I struck a chord, Hephaesta?
No. Definitely not.
You can give me a deception check. She's going to give an insight check.
11.
Okay. She sort of runs, she moves around the couch and just kind of runs one hand along the back of it. And she takes a seat opposite you. She places both hands on her lap. She looks at Nate and then she looks back at you. I'm getting the impression that you and this funny little man have a history. Would that be fair to say, Hephaesta?
What of it?
You strike me as a woman who knows herself.
We all make mistakes when we're young.
We do, but most of us don't carry those mistakes around us like a puppy on a leash. If you had any sense at all, you would have taken him to the deepest, darkest corners of the woods and left him there. But no, you burden yourself like some sort of victim. I'd almost feel bad for you if it wasn't just so pathetic.
Eldridge Blast this bitch.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Right in the face.
Right in the face.
Ooh, 15.
Plus
no,
whatever your
yeah,
spell
plus
check
my
is.
4, sorry, 19.
With a 15 would have hit anyway
Okay,
because
well,
it was
now
just
it
on the
hits
money.
really hard.
So you roll for damage?
Yes, I do. So that is 11.
Wow.
Holy crap! Okay, as that word just ekes out of her, it's almost like smoke parting from her mouth. It stings, and something about it there's an anger about Nath that you keep way down,
Wait.
and this just erupts like a fire within you. What color is it? Purple and black? I think you went. Or was
Yeah,
it
like a blue-black, yeah.
blue black. It your entire body is just engulfed in flame. The flicks of fire and ember that burn on you actually turn blackish blue, and magic just erupts from your hand. She doesn't even have a chance to dive out of the way or react, as she is caught dead center. The couch behind her is just burnt and blackened and blasted, and she is knocked backwards.
That's a smart idea.
I think Hephaesta, you should thank Nate for that residual anger that you have for him.
You're welcome.
Shut up, you're not conscious.
Half
Saving
of your
the day again.
And I'm not even doing anything.
half your
Just
damage
emotional
modifier is
scarring, people.
I like to think of it as emotional inspiration.
There we go. You just hear, She stands up and she just lunges straight towards you, her talons just lashing straight out. She swings to attack. Take 9 damage. She leaps across the table, flying over the other couch where Ardit and Nate are kind of... Well, Nate's still unconscious, and Ardit is kind of like trying not to pee himself in fear from you. She leaps across in one fluid movement, drives her claws into you, buries herself, and the two of you roll backwards, slamming into a bookshelf. Books and paper and ornaments fall to the ground, and she just swipes across your chest.
Can I Hellish Rebuke? Oh.
What did you do?
For the listeners at home, Declan has his head in his hands.
I not wanted.
Oh, yes! 2d10 fire damage.
Okay, so something that I'm going to be doing at this point is to make, because we're crit hitting here, she crit failed to resist. So one of those d10s is just going to be a straight 10. So you're only going to roll 1 for me, plus your...
Oh, wait a minute. So I'm casting this at 2nd level?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I get to add a d10.
Okay, so you still roll 2 d10, I hope they're ones.
Plus 9.
Wow.
Plus 4. So 13, 23.
23.
I am one angry bitch.
So as the second she buries her claws kind of into your shoulders and just above your kind of, it's like she's digging into your clavicle bone, like she's trying to kind of almost rip you open. The fire around you just enrages even further, and it just blasts straight out. She is sent flying backwards. Her cloth, her hair, her skin, it's all singed and burned. She lets out a terrifying scream, and she falls to the ground, sort of scrambling to her feet. At that exact moment, there's a knock on the door. It's that sort of weird, like, what? And you just hear a voice on the other side. Master Ardat, Mistress Lilu, there's a gentleman here who wishes to speak to the both of you. You recognize the voice as that of the tabaxi you had met earlier on in the dining area. Mm-hmm. As the door handle goes to kind of as the door kind of goes to open, she immediately shifts her form back into human, and she looks at you and gives you like just this furious, I'm going to eat you look, runs to the door and just kind of jams it shut. I'll be with you. Of course, I'll be with you in one moment. Ardit and I must just see to our other guests. If you wouldn't. And just on the other side of the door, you just hear this thick sort of drawling accent. Now here, Missy, I came all the way down from Tezrab just to see the both of you straight away. I ain't got a goddamn moment to wait for you two. Okay? Don't be rude. My mama always said you never keep your guests waiting for nobody. And she's just like, her face, she's like, okay, Lilu. And she just kind of composes herself. Of course, Mali, if you wouldn't see to some of our, if you wouldn't see to our guests, maybe ask a brother or sister to help. I need your attention for the moment. There has been a bit of if you just wouldn't mind. And she kind of opens the door enough just to let the tabaxi in. You see that Ardat has now also kind of shifted into his human form as well, but he's still kind of like, he's kind of skulking over to Lilu. He's kind of making the sign of the cross at you as well, just kind of like,
I'm just really glaring at him, like fire in my eyes, just like, oh.
And Nate is still unconscious.
Good.
It would seem that Nathaniel here had something that disagreed with him, and Miss Hephaesta, I need you to have them brought to the other room. And she kind of just stares at him, and he's like, the other? Oh, for the sanctum, bring him to the sanctum. And he's just like, okay, and he leans out the door, and you just hear him kind of grunting at two other passers-by in the temple, and a half-elf in the same robes as the tabaxi and an orc come in, all wearing these sort of plain mauve brown robes. The orc and the half-elf approach you to grapple you. Give me a strength saving check.
Ooh, 18.
You kind of get up to struggle, and the orc just kind of grabs your arm and twists it kind of behind your back. The half-elf scoops Nate up into his arms, and he's just like, yep, I got him. Do you want to give me a Constitution saving throw, Nate, as you're kind of being jostled around?
18.
Okay, so you have recovered to 1 HP, but you're very groggy, and sort of you're being scooped up, and you kind of, as you open your eyes, you kind of like, it's almost like you're about to see, you think you're about to see Ardat, and you're like, who the hell's Ardat? Everything is kind of blurry, but you're being carried out. Your arm is being kind of twisted hard behind your back. As you go to pass, Lilu kind of just places a hand on your shoulder and squeezes it really tightly. This isn't over. I will take pleasure. I will wear your skin as a scarf. And she just kind of gingerly shoves you out the door. You pass, like just kind of standing a few feet away from the door, and you like light is now kind of starting to kind of break through that kind of fuzziness. You pass a rather peculiarly odd-dressed gentleman. He's a dwarf. He's definitely in the beginning of the later years of his life. A sandy kind of grey beard, very, very tidy. What you notice about him, there's two particular things that stand out. He has got the biggest, thickest, fluffiest mustache you've ever seen on anybody, ever. And he's wearing a ridiculous 10-gallon hat. As you're kind of led out, he just... Give me a perception check.
5.
He mouthed something at you. You don't hear it. You can't... It was kind of a very low whisper as you kind of pass each other. But he just gives you a wink. We cut back to Thane, Fia, and Ariel. Ariel has started to get kind of her memories back. What are you guys doing?
Gee, Fia, what are we doing?
You're asking me? We're caught in this place with 2 crazy people running it.
Don't worry, I have 3 intelligence and also a plan. DM, first thing I'd like to do is use my, what do they call it, Hunter's Bane ability to recall as much as I know about these creatures that I saw. In my, what was it that revealed them to me again? You know, when I saw through them.
It was the fact that she tried to charm you,
Yes.
and at the same time then that oily voice in the back of your head spoke up, kind of
That's
going,
right.
He's not yours, bitch.
I was saying that for the listeners, not for me, who definitely remembered.
Yeah, I got you, babes. I got you.
So basically what it lets me do is I get an advantage on a wisdom survival check to track fey fiends or undead, and as well as advantage on intelligence checks to recall like information and statistics about them.
Give me a roll, good sir.
All right. Get ready for some... Okay, that sucks, but I have advantage. That sucks even harder. Okay. So for the intelligence one to recall information about them and their stats and stuff, that's like a 17, and then the wisdom one is like a 10.
And what was the wisdom one to...
Basically to track them, to see like where they actually are, to you know,
for hunting them,
yeah,
kind of
to
stuff
like
like that. Okay.
Scooby-Doo them, yeah.
So the the first thing that you like, so with the like trying to recall what you know, kind of this is the first chance that you've really started to put your thoughts together on this whole thing, and for some reason you have a very, very clear empty mind right now, and it's you're trying to remember what you know of the succubus and their male counterparts, the incubus, and you recall reading in a tome that they are generally evil in nature, very selfish creatures. They shapeshift and they possess the ability to charm and control a man or a woman that they have ensnared. They also possess very, very deadly claws and the ability to drain the life out of another being simply by kissing them.
Whoa.
As for tracking them, you're trying to focus. What was it? Like, is it like you begin? It's sort of like that kind of CSI moment where it's kind of breaking down the evidence, and you conjure an image of Lilu in your mind. Her voice, the way she carries herself, the sound of her steps, her sandals against the stone. Then you remember it's sort of a sandalwood perfume around her, and there are very, very faint traces of it in this room.
So I'm just sniffing around the place like Wolverine. Is that what I'm getting? Okay.
Effectively what you've discerned is that she has spent time in this sort of storage area.
Ah, I do discern that. Okay. The other thing I'd like to do is, because I got proficiency with them alchemy supplies, I just want to have a nose around with the weird love potion and
you
see
can
if
give
I can
me
figure anything about
a
it.
medicine check.
All right. Medicine.
And since you're using your alchemy tools, you can do it with advantage.
Nice.
And Fia, while he's what are you doing?
I want to. Is the room where they locked up our supplies close by to where we are now?
You recall that was at the gate.
Right.
So it's at the other end of these grounds entirely.
Oh gosh.
I got a 10.
Okay.
It's wet.
Yeah, it's a liquid.
In a glass.
Again, I love how you are in full kind of CSI Miami mode.
Just pure dumbass, like, this is wet.
This is some sort of goo. You squat down and you kind of place like your index finger and your middle finger into the goo with your thumb, and you kind of give the consistency of it, and it's thicker than water. Taking kind of a sniff of it, the first thing you kind of what you really get, the strongest kind of notes of it, is that it has a familiar sort of health potion type smell to it. There is something else mixed in here, but you cannot discern what it is.
Someone's made like moonshine health potions that make you real randy.
So yeah, that's what you're kind of, but you don't know what those
Is this
other elements
magic
are.
Viagra? Have we just found like a magic Viagra factory? Is this it?
I
take
spent
7
weeks constructing my notes for this, so for you to sit there and just devolve it into Magic Factory Viagra is very degrading for us and the listeners.
I've simplified it for our listeners who
But
might be at the gym right now.
Yes, so Diarmid is aware that, but
Is there lots of it in this room, by the way? Have we like stumbled into a storeroom of it, or is it just like random bits?
You had come in and Ariel had a box of this. Looking through the other bits and pieces is going to require you doing kind of an investigation check. Fia is sort of comforting Ariel, who's kind of she's not hysterical yet, but she's definitely, like, you can see that she's having a hard time.
I also want to kind of look around and maybe kind of see if I can peer out the door to see if there's anyone in the hallways or that, because in the back of my mind I'm just thinking about finding Hephaesta and Nate if this is going as bad as I think it is.
Okay. Give me a perception check. And it's
10?
okay. You don't see the hallway that you came down through is still empty. You go out under the cliff face where this, if you remember, this temple is kind of constructed under a hill. Out into the gardens, you can see a few of the other brothers and sisters within the convent or the temple, sort of milling around doing their business, but you don't see Hephaesta or Nate.
I turn to Thane and I say, we need to find the others. Like, this is not a good situation to be in right now.
No, it's actually really, really bad. I don't like anything that's happened so far. I told you I hate this place. But no, I think we should get as much as we can out of here, because whatever those 2 creatures were, succubi, I think, they're going to hurt us real bad if we try and mess with them.
And they're probably already hurting the other 2. We need to go.
And Ariel just kind of stops as the 2 of you speak. They don't hurt you. They take, and you can just see her eyes are kind of flicking back and forth as she's trying to piece together her memories. They take you somewhere, and there's a pool, and they were chanting, and I remember feeling the best feeling in the world, and then I was just so tired, and then there was nothing, and then I was here, and the 2 of you were here, and I just want to go home. I just want to see my husband.
Okay, what we're
It's
gonna
okay.
do,
Yeah.
it's totally fine. You can put all your robes and everything and look prim and proper, and you head out the main gate. You remember the way home. Just tell them that you're on a special pickup for Lilu and Ardet, and you can take this crate with all the vials, and I take all the vials out and keep them, because you need to go restock. And if anyone questions you, just tell them smell you later, and you'll be fine.
Where is this pool? Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't know how I got into this room.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think straighten up, look like you're still kind of one of them, and make your way out the gate, like Thane said, and go back home to Giles, where you'll be safe.
I reluctantly hand her one of my daggers. Of the 2 daggers that I have left, like, I'm severely handicapping myself here, but I give her one of my daggers and I say, look, if you get into trouble, here's a dagger in case, a wolf or a murderous succubi comes at you.
And when you say succubi, her eyes just kind of widen in kind of fear. The tears that had been kind of rolling down her face, she wipes away with the sleeve of her robes, and she kind of tucks the dagger into it. I took an amateur dramatics class in the Y a few years ago, so maybe that will stand to me. And she leans in to give you a hug, Thane, and then she kind of gets really, really embarrassed because she just remembers what she was doing a few moments ago.
I give her like the one arm like around and give her like a little light pan. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome.
And she hugs you as well, Fia, and she kind of bows, and she just kind of tucking her two hands into the sleeves, gripping the dagger with her left hand. She bows and she scuttles out the door. You hear her footsteps kind of slapping against the tiles, the stone tiles. And then it's just the two of you in the room.
I think we should go and start looking for the others.
We definitely should. Are there cult robes in here?
You can give me. Are you both just kind of?
Yeah.
You're searching this room.
Yeah.
Fia,
Okay.
we'll do a quick one over, see if there's anything we can get, because clearly these people are up to some bad juju.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll get some things. So investigation.
Yep. Okay, so you both give me investigation checks.
Okay. 15.
12.
Okay, you don't find any of the robes. You don't find anything.
Maybe a hat?
No, you don't find even a simple decorative hat. You head back down to the end of this storeroom,
Right.
where those cupboards were, and all these cupboards are locked. But there on the desk, you find a rather large, heavy, leather-bound ledger. Fia, you come across this a few moments later. Rifling through it, you can see that this is sort of a manifest of the supply room. Fia, something about it looks a little off. You have thieves' cant, don't you?
Yes.
Give me an intelligence check with advantage.
16.
It's not even that it's written differently or it's a language that you like. It's more about the way in the margins and in the columns of the ledger there. It's just things are slightly off, and it reminds you a little bit of the books your brother in Burbage and Sons would have kept, and you can't quite remember why he was doing it like that, but you're able to break the cipher. Like, it's very, very similar to what he was using, and you recognize, not that you know these people, but you recognize some of the names. Some of these names are quite important, influential aristocrats from Tezrab and even further afield in the kingdom of Vijaj. A list of clients who have gotten, and it's what you see is a virility potion. Where it says health, it isn't health. It's saying the word virility. The way it's written, and there's a set of figures beside these, and some are in black, some are in red, some have a skull beside them, and there are notes written about who ordered it, whether it was the wife or the husband or the husband's mistress. This isn't just some stockroom manifest. This is someone's blackmail records.
So I recall it to Thane. So.
Oh, we found a dirty book. We found people's dirty book.
And these are some influential people's names that are in here.
I've heard of none of these people.
Yeah, I kind of have.
Okay.
But
Who like who?
It doesn't matter. But just know that these people
Diarmid O'Neill's written here. And it says he's stocked 4 potions.
I was just buying them for my friends.
And there's nothing else listed there about the vials themselves.
No, it's just the amount they bought and who bought it.
Do I still have my thieves' tools, or were they taken?
Again, they'd be on you. They took weapons. They didn't take anything that looked like.
Okay. Can I try open one of these locked lockers that are behind us?
Yeah.
As she does that, I make sure that Fia takes the book, because like, Fia, you should definitely hang on to this. The table that it was on, is it just like, a standard run of the mill table?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna quickly break it in half and like make it look like it was burned and broken, as if the book was destroyed.
Okay.
Again, CSI shit.
Okay.
Is what's
Staging a
going
crime
on.
scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Staging some
So
crimes.
give me a sleight of
committing
hand check to pick the lock here, and you it's just straight up just smashing the table.
Just hitting stuff. Can I roll to hit stuff?
You can roll to hit stuff if you wish.
14.
You try a couple of different picks and tools within the kit that you have. The lock, it's nothing that you've used before. It's nothing you've seen before.
Dang it.
It doesn't. it doesn't actually click into place.
Okay.
Thane, as you are smashing that table up real good, you do Nate and Festa, if you want to give me perception checks as well. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 14, and my passive investigation is a 15.
My passive perception is 15.
So you're a little bit too busy smashing stuff up.
Yep.
But Fia, again, it's just, from being in your brother's company, behind one of the cupboards that you're kind of trying to pick the lock out, you can actually just see a crack in the wall. More, you kind of hear a whistling of a breeze that's kind of coming from nowhere, and that gets your attention, and you look and you can see it tucked away behind this. There's something hidden here.
Okay, I kind of snap my fingers at Thane to grab his attention and point at him what I found.
Thane's head pulls up like a dog, as if he just heard a whistle on the wind, and runs over.
What you guys roll?
Nat 1, but I also have a -1 in perception,
So
0.
oblivious to the world around you.
And 18.
The guy who's half asleep knows exactly what's
It's
going
more
on.
that you are sort of still enraged and afraid and confused than anything else. But you definitely, in the hallway ahead of you that you're being kind of carried down, they haven't copped that you're awake yet. I've rolled twice. These are the worst guards they could have possibly sent. They haven't copped to the fact that you're awake yet. You just heard something get smashed violently.
I've tried to grab Thane's attention over to this crack in the wall that I found.
Yep.
Like, hey, look at this.
Oh, that's a
Is
crack
there
in
any
the
way I
wall.
can open it, or?
You can give me a strength check.
Okay.
I will help her with that.
Okay, so you get advantage on it.
Yes.
Nat 20.
Yeah, boy.
Well, it's a magical door and it doesn't open.
This is a legendary door. It's actually a 50 roll.
Well, you were close enough. Both of you, so Fia, you were able to kind of wedge your fingers just kind of between the back of the cupboard and the wall enough to kind of pull it a little bit. And then you were able to get your hands around as well. The two of you managed to pull the cupboard back, and as you do, it rotates slightly, almost like it's on a disc, and the cupboard kind of rolls outwards. And in front of you, there is a winding staircase down into the dark.
Secret door. You go first. No, I'm just kidding. I'll go first.
You are shoved through a door, and you find yourself standing in a storeroom. Then the guards follow in. You're being gingerly carried by the half-elf.
Nice.
And they're standing in front of an open secret door are Thane and Fia.
I
Friends!
immediately cast Magic Stone and throw 3 stones at these guards right in the face.
Okay. I really wish that you'd forgotten that you had those stupid fucking pebbles.
Yeah, I love Magic Stone. It's just the Dennis the Menace
I'm
equivalent.
also... You can roll for this.
Because I just do this like the moment they come in.
Meanwhile, back in their private room and their meeting chambers, Lilu and Ardat are set on 2 kind of small little armchairs. McGuckett is kind of looking at this very
you
charred,
could spell
very
McGuckett
broken.
for us.
What? McGuckett. McGuckett. Well, it gets worse the more you say it.
Yeah.
And then it gets better.
So he's kind of playing a little bit ignorant to the the charred remains of the couch and the overturned bookshelf, and he kind of sits on the edge of a small little table that has a few chairs kind of around it. So I reckon I should probably introduce myself to the both of you. My name is Artur McGuckett. I come to you fine folks as you pair have been highly recommended. Your product, your healing potions. He winks. I happen to be prescribed one of them by a doc friend of mine. Now, let's just say things in the bedroom with Mrs. McGuckett haven't been a bit slow lately. And it being our 30th anniversary, I need to show the wife I still had some life left in me. Some life left in me. So I took one of your healing potions. And did it ever pack a punch? A real pick me up, hold me up, keep me up, up and away. I say I've never, ever felt. Well, let's just say it worked. Okay. Now, I don't want you lot getting offended. I did some work, and every time he kind of takes a breath, that Lilu and Ardit try to kind of, or Lilu at the very least, tries to kind of cut in. I did some work on sourcing it, and I found you two and your gig. And I reckon... No, wait. Hang on a second. There's a bit more here that we have to go back over. I'm getting ahead of myself. I best start from the start and fill in the blanks, so to speak. I come by Tezrab nearly 30 years ago. No, 40 years now. And I reckon... See, I was fixing to the nomadic merchant lifestyle, as was the style at the time. See, the world sells some wares to find folk, acquire new and interesting products, a charm life, so they'd say. You see, my father used to... Lilu just completely rolls her eyes and smiles. Ardat is 100% invested in Arthur McGuckett's story. We cut back to Thane, who's about to throw some
No,
pebbles.
I was so wrapped up in the fiction of his story. Tell me
fucking,
more.
I fucking love McGuckett.
Can I also say as well, my favorite bit of that entire tirade was you, like, several times, like, into the microphone, winking.
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
I just don't understand this medium.
So, like, no, but I love the intention. Like, you were like, gotta do it for the audio listener.
ASMR wink. My eyelashes are aflutter.
There is. You'll listen back there. It's like a 10-second just silent pause, and you are just winking. You're not saying anything.
You need to put in that wink sound, like, you know,
Yeah.
like...
I really get into character, okay?
It's called dedication. All right, let's roll these stones. One is a 7, a 16, and a 21.
Okay, so the 7 is going to miss, and that's going to miss the tabaxi.
Okay.
The other 2 rolls hit.
Okay.
So give me damage.
All right. That is a 6 and a 7.
Oh, Jesus.
And I just
Pew pew. Yeah.
with stones.
They both drop instantly. Nate, you fall to the ground. You're dropped as well. Just these 3 pebbles just shoot, like you just literally, it's kind of like you flick them and they soar through the shelves.
Is it like Magneto in X-Men 2?
Yes, it's exactly like Magneto in X-Men 2. One of them misses and just kind of bounces off the wall and hits the shelf and is buried in the wood and timber. The other 2 hit both guards straight on into the middle of their foreheads and they fall straight into the room. The tabaxi is just like, he just...
You better not move or there's another stone for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just, why am I doing this? Why am I holding my hands up?
I'm immersed in the fiction.
Sorry. So he just throws his hands up into the air in case I didn't make that clear for anyone listening. As I hold my hands up in the air. I just don't care.
You're just like...
Well. Yeah, he shoots both his hands straight up into the air and just kind of a complete and total panic.
Go in the corner.
And he just goes over into the corner. He's just used to getting bossed around. He goes over into the corner.
Hephaesta, nice to see you again. Nate, you look like shit. Will one of you close the door?
So Nate, you've awoken to all of this
Yeah.
with literally no clue as to what's... The last thing you remember is Ardat kissing you and wanting to kiss him back.
Yeah.
And then you wake up after a half wood elf kind of carries you out of the room and now drops you as he lies unconscious on the ground. The tabaxi kind of shuts the door and then he goes over into the corner. His hands are still held up over his head.
Yeah, I want to search the wood elf for weapons.
Okay.
I keep pointing at the tabaxi like, oh, if you even, there's going to be stoned. Like, they just come out of nowhere. You better watch out. Yeah.
It's just his hands. He's shaking. Yeah. His little tail is twitching.
Kind of cute.
He's actually really adorable. He's like a little grey tabaxi. He's really cute.
Is he short and fat?
How dare you?
He's just like a little, like, you know, the one
No,
from
he's
Monster Hunter.
kind of a bit of a scrawny runt. You find the 2 guards that were kind of they both have spears. The tabaxi had no weapon.
I pick up a spear because I'm proficient in it, and
Okay, I am proficient at picking this up.
check it out, guys. I know how to use a spear.
I hold the other one up to see if either Nate
Hephaesta or Nate are proficient. Are you proficient in this?
if they
check
want
my
it.
character
I didn't
sheet?
say anything about proficient. Thanks very much.
Fia just shows up like, hey, want a spear?
Want a spear?
Hey.
It's a simple weapon, yeah?
Spears are simple weapons. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'll grab it else.
We're just going to say it's a simple spear.
Yeah. Can I have a little look around for like a health potion or something?
You can, if you want to give me an investigation check, you can.
Yeah. So 21.
You don't find, ye olde jar of healing potions, but you do come across a little medicine kit, and in it you can see some dried, preserved good berries. There are 5 in it, so if you take the 5, you'll recover 5 health.
All right, I'll
Neck those.
Please.
You'll just look over and Nate is just gorging himself on berries. And
Just shoving berries into your face.
Don't look at me.
So you just chomp into these, and you recovered 5 health.
Cool.
We also found Ariel. She's on her way back to Giles.
Yeah, we did actually save her.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
Unless she gets horribly murdered on the way back, but
don't say that.
That's kind of out of our hands. We did our best.
What did you do? You got her out?
Yeah,
yeah.
I gave her a dagger so she could protect herself because it's a dangerous world out there, and she remembered the way home. So we were just like, off you go, because really, no one else knows that anything bad has happened.
I don't know if these guys will just let her leave.
That's out of our hands.
Well, there's not much we can do in the way of fighting. We don't have much of our stuff.
I point at
That's what you think.
Yeah. I point at the tabaxi with the spear, and I'm like, will people let her out?
I mean, probably. And he's just everyone here is really nice most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time is what we're learning.
Take us back to get our weapons.
I don't know if we should just be parading through. Look,
take them and get out of here.
No, we can't let this guy leave. We can't leave this place because if we go out with spears and stuff, they'll look at us and be like, hey, why'd you guys leave? And then the other mean people will be like, hey, why did you leave? And then we're going to get killed.
I just don't think I can show my face outside of this room at the moment, at very least. Things did not go well in there, so...
Oh, like bad?
And I point at all the horrible gashes across my body.
You still look better than Nate, it's fine. He's...
Yeah,
you
course,
are, so kind of Hephaesta's kind of just kind of pointing
bleeding
at the
everywhere.
wound on her, in her shoulders.
I wasn't going to say anything. I thought it was just a brave new style choice.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to stop these people, or do you want to get out of here?
I mean, I'd love to leave, but we're not going out the front door, so, this nice little secret door you found might be...
Hephaesta, as you were we can't exactly leave, you just see, kind of underneath the shelves, just a plume of, violet and purple smoke just kind of wafting around, and it grows somewhat kind of round and bulbous and then kind of into an hourglass shape, and then standing there in just full get-up is Eve, and she's just fixing the back of her hair as she just appears, and she just kind of runs kind of just her fine, thin, spindly, chubby fingers, but don't you ever say the word chubby around her, through her hair, and it was like, well done, dearie. It seems you might be a teensy bit outmatched here, though. And she pouts.
Yeah, I would say you didn't warn me very well what I was getting into.
No. I told you there was a succubus and an incubus and their deranged followers.
Yeah, well, I guess I underestimated.
That's not my problem, dearie, but I do have some good news. I do have the bestest of news for you. I've an old friend keeping those 2 wannabe demonic entrepreneurs busy. And I've a new job for you, seeing as how you probably would get killed in the process of trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Let's just say if we can't kill them, we can at the very least take out their means of operation. I've received word that those 2 are selling knockoff love and lust potions. I can't have them muscling in on my turf. Find their sanctum, destroy whatever it is that they're using to concoct these diluted, watered down, amateurish cocktails of virility, and you may have to kill 1 or 2 little horny zealots on the way. Okay. You okay?
Oh.
And the smoke just kind of billows away, and you, as quickly as it had happened, not even a moment has passed. As you see the others are kind of checking out the weapons and stuff like that.
So love potions
They exist.
here somewhere. Have you seen
I'm assuming that this is what they are on the shelves in this room.
Yeah, I picked up a few.
Cool. Let's just wreck the place and go.
Okay.
We cut back to McGuckett. Then I came by the way of the kingdom of Visage, but you don't want to hang around there a lot, let me tell you that. But all the same, I had a fine time. See, folk from Visage, they don't know how to tell a joke. Fancy themselves as intellectual types. You never been Visage? That's what they call it around there. Try saying Visage 10 times fast. Reckon you can't do it. McGuckett attempts to do it. Visage. You just can't do it. Arja then tries to do it. Lilu just snaps. She's just like... and then just kind of refers to Mr. McGuckett, you're most welcome, it seems. You have a flair for conversation, but my brother and I, we are rather busy. I reckon you're real busy, missy. Couldn't help notice folk around here real happy. Real quiet too, but real happy all the same. But you know what would make them even happier? Money. And you know how you guys are onto a winning number right here. Let me tell you that. But I think you could really ramp this up. I'm thinking marriage counseling. I'm thinking sexy retreats. I'm thinking workshops and finding your inner tantric core. I figure you lot could use my help, my connections, and my wild charms to even reach bigger customers. Not just old farts in the need of a virility potion, mind you. I mean, not that people need it. Reckon it's smart too, smelling it like medicines. Real clever. We could probably jack those prices up too. See, I was like I was saying, what was I saying? And then Arjet reminds him that he was talking about Visage. And McGuckett kind of just slaps his knee. See, someone around here has listened to this old fool. And in sales, the number one rule is you always listen. Listening to the customer. Listening to their wants. The last thing you want to be doing is just ramming your product down their throat. Write that down, Arda. Don't be ramming your product down anybody's throat. And Arda just kind of starts to look around the desk for a piece of paper and something to write it down. Rule 2. Sell fast, sell hard, sell smart. Or know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Like, my pappy used to always, or my pappy-in-law used to always say, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. He was a sea captain turned merchant. He trails off again on a completely other, entirely different tangent about sea captains and the merchant navy. Lilu just slumps back into her chair, somewhat defeated, and just rubbing her temples with her 2 middle fingers and sighs. We cut back to the 4 of you.
Yeah, I take my spear and I point it at the tabaxi, and I'm just like, where does that go? And I point at the stairs.
Oh, that's... Lilu and Arjet had... It's the Sanctum of Gamura.
Okay, who's that?
It's just what they call the place. It makes it sound fancier than it actually is. It's just a hole with some water and they perform some sort of ritual. I'm not really involved in it. I help find people.
Do you know what the ritual does?
They siphon a lot of people's strong feelings. They're and he just sort of like he swallows really, really hard and kind of just grabs the kind of the collar of his robe and just kind of tweaks it a little bit. They bottle their passion, is the way they put it.
So that's what happened to Ariel and why she couldn't remember how she got here.
So she's done pissed me off. I think we should wreck that.
Yeah.
Wreck this place and just
get gone.
Burn
Wreck
everything
it.
on the way up.
Wait, Nate? Hang on. Did you find Eugenia?
Oh, I was told she's not here. I guess they might not be able to be trusted, but...
Were you told by the lying, cheating, horrible demon people?
The tabaxi kind of just... I say he puts up his hands are still up, but he slightly lowers one to make it look like he's trying to speak.
He waves a little
Gives
bit.
it a wiggle.
I'm responsible for taking records of all our visitors and the brothers and sisters who join us, and we have nobody here by that name, I promise.
Anyone here by the name? Did we try the Raven Direheart thing?
Yes, you gave me both names, and no.
I tell the tabaxi to put his hands. He can put his hands down.
Oh, he just shoots them straight down.
Yeah, and then I tie them up.
For a second there, he was like, "Oh, they're gonna free me," and then you tie him up, and he's just defeated again.
Yeah, no funny business out of
Little
you,
pat
mister.
on the head.
Yeah, I guess. Should we? You can close your ears for a second. Should we bring this little guy down with us?
He tries to close his ears, just kind of like.
Oh yeah, no, we can't leave him alone.
Okay.
We should block the door as well.
We could block the door with him.
He don't look too sturdy.
I'm not.
I kind of poke his tummy. I'm like, yeah, it's all wiggly bits.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Yeah,
Excuse you.
Watch your mouth now.
no back talk.
Look at that little puddum. Little cutie. Come on, guys.
Yeah, no, I'll just start like pushing whatever tables and like barrels are in here just to like block the door.
You're making kind of a little blockade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a wee one.
Okay. Well, too
Before
bad
we
you
go
smashed up that table.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I didn't like smash it up into splinters. I'm not the Hulk. Like, I'll take the bits from it and use that. You know.
Oh, yes, you're just basically just trying to block this door, kind of jamming it.
Yeah.
Can I pocket some of the potions as well?
No, I already took all the ones Ariel had.
Most of those, actually, I'll give you a roll to see what you did manage to save. You have one.
Okay, that's fine.
No. Thane has one.
Has one.
I have one.
You have one.
had
Because
a whole
you remember she dropped the box and a lot of stuff broke. So you have one of these potions in it. The shelves were not stocked with anything that looks like
The rest
that
is all
file.
locked
Yeah.
up. Okay. So do you want to go down and
The
destroy
dice
this
give it,
sanctum
and
thing?
the dice take it away.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. So we're going to make our way down and destroy whatever they're using to do this to people.
Okay.
Okay, where do we put our cat tabaxi friend? I feel like
He
cat
comes with us.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like do we put him in the middle of us? Do we put him at the front? I
Yeah,
don't
no,
want to put him
middle.
in the front.
Middle.
Where does he fit in this dynamic group?
Right in the middle.
Our new fifth beetle.
Okay. The five of you start to head down through the passageway, and the steps are shallow but steep, and it slopes down very, very quickly. As you pass through the threshold, each of you feels just sort of an energy kind of waft. It's that sort of like you don't have to. It's just kind of a sixth sense kind of thing that everyone kind of has, and you get kind of there is something down here. It's that sort of. You know, when you feel like eyes on you, watching you, that you get, it's that sort of same sense that's kind of kicking in. We cut back to McGuckett, and Lilu is now bundled up on the chair that she was sitting on, just kind of groaning slightly. Ardat is yawning, and McGuckett is still full. And that about sums up the 76 rules of sales. Now, we are getting a little bit sidetracked here, y'all. The wife always says, she says, Arthur, you talk the hind legs off a sow. And you know what I says to her? I says, well, I've been talking all these years, Mrs. McGuckett, and you're still walking. Oh, that always gets her laughing. She loves that one she does now. She gets mighty furious too when I say it, but she loves it all the same. Arda and Lilu just kind of look at him, just kind of like, oh, is this over yet? And as he kind of goes to speak again, Lilu just kind of stands up very like, Mr. McGuckett, I've been able to piece something from your rant. I mean, colourful tirade. And I've deduced you wish to help us with our product. We've already got... And she stops mid-sentence, and Ardat stands up at the exact same time, and both of them turn their heads very, very slowly westwards in the direction of the room and the sanctum and the passageway that you have all just crossed. You were listening to Romancing the Dungeon. A very special thanks to Fiona Mooney for the inspiration for Arthur McGuckett, our somewhat erectile dysfunction having dwarf wannabe salesman of the year. One of my favorite things as a DM is trying to roleplay 3 characters all in the same room together. It's great fun.
With none of your players.
With none of my players, yeah, no one else involved. Just me talking to myself in different funny voices. It's what I'll be remembered for. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you started here, well, if you started here, this is kind of weird. You should go back to episode 1 and listen there. Make sure to check us out at Romancing the Dungeon. You'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And do check out our community group at Romancing the Dungeon Daters. Special thanks to Martin Ryan for our very, very awesome theme song. And you can find Martin the Freshman Ryan on Facebook as well. Am I missing anything else? Oh, yeah. This has just been so hard. I've kind of forgotten what we're supposed to do at the end of these episodes. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully. hopefully. I don't want to press our luck, but hopefully see you guys again in 2 weeks' time.
Yay.
Later, daters.
Oh,
No.
Out of the group.
You're welcome.
oh.
Out.